Let's get it tight. Let's get a funnel. Just changing the oil on the old lt35 woodmizer. It was due, and it was actually getting a little bit low, so we thought now's the best time as any to go ahead and change it. The engine on the lt35s are the Kohler Commander Pro 25 horsepower. In my opinion, it's a good engine, and it takes about a quart and a little over a half, so a quart and a half, maybe a little bit better, of oil to change this oil in this engine. On this tower, all the sawdust will get caked up on this tower where these rollers run up and down, and we use ATF, automatic transmission fluid. We'll put some on there, and it really cuts the sawdust off pretty good. Good morning, friends. Hadn't seen you in a while. We didn't get a video up last week, and I apologize for that. But the reason why we didn't get a video last week is because we was on a job, and I think Cody mentioned before, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I do believe Cody mentioned before that we just don't run the sawmill. We also do pole barns and decks and fencing and basically anything outdoors. So me and Cody's getting more into that stuff. We're having a little bit of trouble. I'm having trouble. I'm the camera guy. Setting up cameras and filming when we're on a job like that. Let's just say building a pole barn. Because we're all over the place. We're here, we're there. And two, the customer's there most of the time. And we know it's kind of weird us just setting up cameras. And two, they think, well, they're getting their work done. Or no, they're dealing with cameras. So that's something we're working through right there. Is figuring out how to film when we're on jobs other than the sawmill. And normally how we do it is we build pole barns for a while, and we let the lumber orders stack up a little bit where we get a week's worth of sawing lumber. Then we come back to the mill and saw lumber for a week, because it's almost kind of like a vacation. Because we drive to the mill, this is our home basically. The mill's at my dad's property, so it's just I'm basically home. Not my home, but my old home. So it's honestly like a vacation. So, and especially vacation for mentally, because there ain't nothing to sawing lumber really. You just get your numbers, what you got to saw when you saw it. So that's what we're doing this week. Hopefully I can make a few videos here while we're at the mill this week. We did finish up a job yesterday. It is Tuesday right now. We saw in Yellow Pine. So anyway, Cody's down there milling now, so let's get to it. But this job right here that we're sawing is 1x4s by 16. And when we're sawing this log for the 1x4s by 16, if they don't make what we're needing, we can cut what we need for the next job, which is 1x6 by 8. And set that aside and put them back up on there when we're sawing for that order. I'll show you here in just a minute. Now that board right there wouldn't make a 1x4 because of how the log laid, it was too short. But it will make a board on the next order. So we set that aside and we'll deal with that in just a little bit. What we done there, just kind of explain to you a little bit what we just did, is the last order that we just finished up right there is 1x4 by 16. Now we're sawing 1x6 by 8, but we still needed a few more 1x4s. So we took the fletches off the log while it was still 16 feet and got what we needed for the first order. Then we cut the log in half. Now we're using that log that we cut in half for the second order, which is 1x6 by 8. We finished up the 1x6s, and now we're getting back to the fletches for the first order, which is the 1x4 for 16. I hope y'all can understand what I'm trying to say there. If you can't, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now, when I mentioned that we're sawing 1x6 by 8, I say that just because it's easier to say instead of half by 6, because we're actually are milling 1/2 inch by 6 inch wide. The customer, that's just specifically what the customer wanted, and we sawed them about, we didn't saw them actually a 1/2 inch thick, because I told the customer, I said that 1/2 inch thick is going to be a little bit too thin. I'm afraid that your boards may bust on that because there ain't much material there. He said, yes, that's fine. You know, give me close to half with the best of your opinion what it needs to be. So we sawed them, finished out about 5/8. I felt like that was a little bit more material, and he still got pretty close to what he wanted, because these are going on the inside of a house. And we got to saw 185 of these, and so far we got the 1x4 sawed that we saw first thing this morning, and now we got looks about like 120 1/2 inch by 6 sawed. We got a stack here that's ready to go, ready to put to the side, and we got it banded. Turned out really nice. Now sometimes when we're stacking lumber, a board or two may not be good. Like it may just be, we may just give it to them, but we don't count it. But it still goes to them because he probably can still use it. They'll probably actually use it, but we don't count it because in our eyes it's not good enough to be counted. But he still gets it. But in this stack right here, every single board is usable, and we got 100 in this stack, and I'm tickled how they turned out. You know, like I mentioned, sometimes 1/2 inch they start to split on you because there's less material, but these turned out really well. Now in this stack right here, that isn't 100 actually, that's actually 98, but we got another stack started over here. And we still got a couple hours in the day. Let's see, it's 2:45, so we still got about a couple more hours. We're gonna try to get 200 sawed today. So we're still sawing the 1/2 inch, the 1/2 inch by 6. It's getting a little bit later in the day, but I want to keep filming this day. But I think this video is gonna be a little too long in one video, so I'm gonna make it a part 2. We're gonna change the blade, and we're gonna keep filming for part 2. So hope y'all enjoyed part 1. See y'all in the next one.